first timers the other day at Loveland, and there was like at least four, six of them. I've never seen such a strong group of first time skiers. I mean, these people were athletic,
Right.
and by the time I was done, they were already at level three.
Wow.
It was their
Yeah, I mean,
first time. I mean, they were really making linking wedge turns, doing well. I've never seen that.
cool. Really? My expectation's always that, well, I don't know what your system is, right? My expectation is always if I get a level once and I can successfully get them to turn and control their speed down the hill and stop through a turn shape, that's level three to me. Now they're ready to start exploring other terrain.
Yeah, but a lot of times you have these right internal splits in the class. You have people not right as athletic or coordinated. You have some that are going to be ahead of others, and it can hold it up. These people were all pretty much equal.
Really? Good. Sorry, Dio just stepped in. She can't see you because the camera's pointed at me.
Mm.
We just got done with MA upstairs. I looked terrible, but that's all right.
Gumby,
Yeah.
apparently Kim doesn't mind the little oust-emmy thing because stuff in the box was fine. So,
It got me through level three.
but I will say this.
So,
Earlier today, when we were thinking more,
yeah,
when we were doing the accelerating side slip and then into a short
yeah,
turn,
yeah.
that went away.
I know. I know. And that's when I started feeling it on the right side. When I started doing it, I was very aware of it. That's why I went right and was way more pivoty. So I could figure out how. For all those of you who don't know, I looked today on like being less. I got like a little bit of a, I'm an old school skier, right? And the old rotary push off is firmly embedded in my soul, and it's very, very difficult to get rid of. And so, one of the things we worked on today was pivot slips, and I got some new ideas from Jim Shaw on how to execute pivot slips better, which helped a whole lot. And it helped me with that idea of changing my own skiing and to be more performancy. Huh?
MA,
MA, more MA.
MA, and more MA.
And one of them was to make sure that on the downhill side that I released that first. And that was a much, much better performance for me because what I had done before was pull the skis back, but when you do that, you engage the tips. The tips suddenly turn into the uphill ski wants to turn first. You get like um, a pizza shape in there. Of course, everybody was doing it, so it wasn't just me.
But
Everyone was doing it. Yes, but you you could have been yelling at yourselves because I was watching the same thing coming down, going, "Oh, okay." So it was a little bit different performance that I had, but of course, as soon as I turned the video camera back on, I lost my focus, and all of a sudden it was back again. So just one more thing I have to think
I
about.
think it's a piece of trading.
No, I just lost. I didn't think about it at all. I was just trying. Let's just do some turns. Well, yeah, yeah. All right. Anyway, enough about me. Anybody else got any ideas on? We got a couple minutes. Anybody else got? Hey, Jerry Ann's back. Anybody else got any teaches that they would like to talk about? No, you all did terrible. No tips.
I did.
You want to talk about it? You got
I
to talk
got
about it.
big tips.
You got big tips?
So yeah, I must have did something right.
Okay.
It's called knowing
All
who's
we're doing
yours.
out here is had a few advanced classes and we got no advanced terrain open. So we've been working on foundation movements
Okay.
and modifying them a little bit to make it challenging on green and easy blue terrain.
Okay.
And
So
they
what did
seemed,
you,
at this time, they seemed to like that.
what was the thing that you saw that instituted, that is made you want to do that change?
The fact that A, we didn't have the snow they wanted, and B, the fact that as I was watching them go down the hill, I'm sitting here, well, they can either work on becoming less of a survival skier, or they can continue to do what they're doing now and take it into steeper terrain and wonder why they're not improving.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Because right now there's a whole lot of survival out here in the West. It's kind of a reverse. How is it? How's the snow in the East right now?
Well, I'm at
Yes.
Sugar Bush and we've gotten some great snow. The grooming is okay and it gets pretty slick. Several days of, lots of firm firm surfaces here. I had a guest for a 3 hour private and we had another private the next day and she actually had a blast on this ice. She was intermediate and just gave her the tools she needed to feel more confident and she was flying. She was doing great. So that was a good experience for me last week.
Good.
But kids it's harder.
Good. Right now the
Hey,
snow is extremely firm here. Like East Coast snow. Like you
hey,
have
Chuck.
to, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Snow Creek isn't the snow isn't too bad. It could be a lot worse. And I had a lady the other night. Her husband's on our ski patrol. She had
Uh-huh.
back surgery a number of years ago and took a lesson to feel her way back into things. And she's pretty much just wedge skiing. But I was working with her and getting her back onto her skis and doing different things. One of the things that I found was I know on the bunny slope, a patience turn is a little harder because it doesn't have that slope to turn you.
Right.
But I'd get her in a spot and just kind of almost hit, get a little couple little bumps, and that would turn. And I had her focusing her mind on stuff like that, and doing that, she started moving, and it that just worked into other things. I mean, because she was real nervous about because she had had back surgery several years ago. This is the first time she's been back on
Right.
skis, and we're just redoing everything. But I kept her distracted, and she was doing it and had a blast.
Good. Good. What was the movement that changed?
Do what?
What was the movement that changed?
She instead of just standing upright because of her back, she actually leaned forward and started skiing like she would. When she started, she was all nervous about wanting to make sure she wasn't doing anything wrong with her back, and she was kind of feeling things. And
Mhm.
once I kind of did that patience deal, that got her to turn, and she smiled and started getting back into things.
Good. Good. Something simple, right?
Yeah,
Just got her moving forward. That allowed her to start turning her legs, turning the skis, getting a little bit of an edge instead of leaning back, right?
right. She every now and then she'd get real straight, and it's like just lean forward a little bit. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, but because we're back, my brother's had back surgery, so I know you can't go forward too much. But I did get her frontward just a little bit, and
Okay.
then of course she squatted down a little bit, and that kind of helped that weight, and just kind of
Okay.
bouncing back and forth. And she
Yeah.
had a good time, and her husband was happy.
All right. Good. Yeah. I mean, as long as, the key movement for you is that getting forward, the opening of the knee, maybe the bending of the ankle allowed her to be able to move the skis better, gave her the confidence with that grip that she was suddenly getting, right? And she
Yeah,
was able to do
that's like
stuff. Yeah.
good. I mean, when she's upright, I'd have her just kind of bend or squat down a little bit, kind of like the kids would,
Right.
and that all that. I mean, it kept her back straight, but kept everything else to where it worked.
Cool. Okay. Cool. All right.
Excellent.
Huh?
I would throw a challenge out for people. We focus a lot on what we do down around our ankles and our feet and our lower boots. I had a client that had MS and couldn't feel anything below about mid shin. I would challenge you to, once you get in position and you're skiing, what do other body parts feel like
Well,
when you're skiing well?
that's
What
what I'm
does it
hoping.
feel like above the feet?
That is exactly what I'm trying to do with these little sessions, just these little mini sessions. What did you see? What was the movement that changed? And what was the success that it brought? And if we're going to start talking about body parts and ski performance, that would be a whole lot better. Okay.
Yep.
That gives us
Which
kind of a
is,
little nice little visual warm up. We don't have to actually see the skier. We can visualize it in our own head and allows us to kind of get started. You know, it's a real quick way for us to figure out what the movements are. All right. All right. We got this guy. All right. First initial impressions only. You don't have to do a complete MA. That's my problem. First initial impressions.
Racing movement.
Racing movement.
To slow
Okay.
down.
Tails of the skis.
Cool.
Yes.
What else do the skis do?
Yeah.
They're bending at the tails in the
They're
back.
bending at the tails. Yeah. What are you doing? Keep going.
Z shape.
Do I what? Oh, yeah, I do.
Hey, Gumby has jumper cables in his car. If you just want to do it.
Go ahead. What else?
Real turn shape.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not,
Back-
not really
back to
finishing his
Z.
turn.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a
It's like a
shimmy
fish
down
hook.
the hill, right?
Hmm.
And actually, if you look at it, it kind of gets smaller and smaller as he moves downhill, doesn't it? Kind of gets big here, bigger, and then all of a sudden it starts to get smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? There it is. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Right? It's almost like a funnel.
Is he trying to stay inside between those brushes?
I think he is, yeah. I think he's trying to do short turns inside the brushes.
Mm-hmm.
What other pieces do you see?
Abrupt edge angle.
I see him mostly inclined.
Okay. Nah, no, don't listen. That's my job to tell you all those pieces. I'm looking for the big initial pieces right now, right?
Well,
Turn shape.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
a fish hook shaped turn with very little engagement at the top of the turn, no shaping, and a very heavy bottom with a lot of snow displacement.
You're killing me, Leonard.
Mhm.
I will accept it. All right. So that I like that. I like that description. That's great. I like the fact that you're like diving right into the overall and then identifying those pieces that are more relevant. But like I said, the movement of the skis and the movement of the body are my responsibility right now. Okay. You see what I mean?
I
But
see.
this is the challenge that I'm going to give you guys today. You get to audit me. Okay. You get to say, okay, hey, maybe he missed something there. I'm not going to tell you whether I'm doing it intentionally or not. This is just practice. I want you to get a fine tune about what's happening in the MA as a process so that you can identify the parts and pieces you may have missed in your own. Does that make sense? All right. So
Yeah.
you get to audit me today. All right. Give me two fundamentals.
Fore aft
Okay.
and
Directing pressure to
rotation.
the outside ski.
Foration. Okay. I heard fore, aft, and rotation. Sorry. That was the first two I heard. Okay. So I'm going to do a fore aft MA. This is level 2. Fore aft MA. That's going to be the primary. And then I'm going to bring in the secondary, which is going to be rotation. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
And then I'm going to take the other two, which are going to be edging and ski to ski pressure. And I'm going to do the full level 3 MA on that and show the relationship between them. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. And like I said, I want this all to be done by 7:30 because it's breakout room day. And I want to get videos in front of you. And for the folks that are going to their exams, this is your time to practice. Okay? Yes, no, maybe, sometimes. I feel like I say that all the time to my kids.
Do
Let's do it. All right. So fore aft is going to be my primary. So what I'm noticing from this skier is that at the initiation, the ankles are closed, but the hips are open and the knees are bent, which puts the pressure, makes the skis to begin to bend at the rear of the ski. I'm sorry, makes the ski bend behind the bindings. In the shaping phase, I'm noticing that the skier continues to have slightly open ankles, bent knees, and an open hip, which continues to allow the skis to bend in the rear. And then at the finish, I see a little bit more flex at the ankle and a little bit more flex at the hip, but the knees are still bent, which still places them slightly back, resulting in more bending at the back of the ski. Ideally, what I'd like to see is the skier to, at the initiation, have an appropriate amount of ankle flex, open up his knees a little bit, and have a little bit more hip. That's going to allow him to bend the ski in the middle towards the front of the ski at the initiation. In the shaping phase, I'd like to see a little bit more proportionally balanced, with it still with ankle flex, a little bit more open knee, and a little bit of hinge at the hips. And the ankle, the shins and the back should be fairly parallel. That's going to allow the ski to bend in the middle in the shaping phase. And then in the finish, I would still like to see the skier have an appropriate amount of ankle flex, slightly more knee flex than he does in the shaping phase to absorb pressure, and a little bit more flex in the hip to allow him to, again, to absorb pressure before he starts to extend the knee and hip to start the next turn. That's going to allow the ski to bend appropriately in the middle to slightly underneath the foot where it needs to be in order to be absorbing the pressure and allow him to, I'm going to bounce to another fundamental, to chain grip at the end of the turn. From a rotational standpoint, I see upper body movement, primarily in the hip. That starts at the initiation and kind of permeates throughout the turn. They're resulting in a lot of stuff.
So Chuck, I have a question. Was
Yeah.
this is Ralph. So was this skier intentionally dragging his poles? I mean, we train sometimes skiers when they shift their body. A technique obviously is to ski with the poles behind them so they're level, they don't move up. But I see him dragging his poles a lot.
Which pole is he dragging more?
The left one.
Well, in this
the-
photo,
I
yes.
think the right actually, but
I mean, it's going to be his left pole. But I see his right pole off the ground, right?
well, I mean, maybe
But
not
when
at
he
this
goes to
point.
the other side,
Skiing.
right? Ooh, right? Pole's up in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's dragging the right side. Go a little further. See,
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't focus too much on the poles, Ralph.
yeah,
I mean, we're really talking about what the body's doing that's causing the skis to do what they're doing.
got it.
All right. Anybody else want to audit me? Any questions? Anything that I might have missed? I'm challenging you to say something.
Could you, I
Out.
didn't hear very much in terms of rotation.
Oh, I was just tracking the rotational piece.
Okay, so and that's all I would have to do, not a full
I
second
don't
piece.
know. You tell me. You're auditing me.
I think you should have done,
Maybe you got a question about the rotational. Maybe you want something to be filled in a little bit more other than stuff.
can you play the video again? Because I just joined, so
Oh,
I
all right.
I heard you, but I didn't see.
All right. Just gonna do it once. Because technically, once he gets to the bottom, it's over.
Can I just say something quick and what I
Yeah,
noticed?
yeah. Please do.
I noticed a skier trying to tip early in the team in the turn with progressive flexion through the shape and finish.
Uh-huh.
Where the word trying to me, I didn't notice totally open flexion. It's kind of hard to see straight on, but I do see him trying to do progressive flexing through the turn. If you see, he's trying.
Yeah. At the end of the turn,
Yeah.
I did say that he did have
Whatever.
ankle flex, but it was still an open waist and kind of bent legs and bent knees,
Yeah,
which
but
is still gonna, and from judging from, the majority of the snow
sensation.
is, yeah.
Yeah. No, everyone else that they said. But I
Yeah.
think that's what the task is. He's trying to do these things. And that to me is important because that's a starting frame for, is that the goal of the skier? Like his goal
Yeah.
is to maybe move his body mass more forward if we're talking about fore and aft as he's moving his legs under his body to the best
Do
of
you
his
feel
ability.
do you feel like he's trying to get forward at any point
I
in the
didn't
turn?
say it was ideal. I'm just saying this
Yeah.
is,
So
what I'm saying.
that's starting to interject that subjective part,
Okay.
right? Now we're starting to look at intent, starting to look at their goals, we're starting to look at what we would prioritize, blah, blah, blah. And that's part of that subjective. From an objective standpoint, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Any others? Laura, what'd you say? What do you say? Don't be afraid.
Chuck, I'd like some clarification on what you said about rotation. What you
Yeah,
said
yeah,
it's
cool.
coming from, you said it's coming from the hips.
Okay.
You didn't really say lower body, so and you didn't say upper
I
body
said
rotation.
I did say it was upper body rotation primarily from the hips.
Yeah, so can you tell me, can you explain that to me? I would like more clarification on that as
All
your
right. So
as your
a-
examiner.
as my examiner, cool. So when he is coming through the turn right here, the first thing it moves is his hip.
Mhm.
It moves to the outside of the next turn and before the shoulders. The shoulders follow, don't get me wrong, but the hip moves quickly from one side to the other. And that's causing a rotational piece.
A rotation, not a steering piece?
Oh,
Like,
I'm
are you talking about like leg steering from the legs? Or are you talking about like because he's a little bit hinged at the hip, he's swinging his butt more.
yeah. So when he's doing it this way. He's here unless this turn, and then he goes like this, which causes this and allows the skis to whip around on the other side.
So he's cheating rotation?
Well, I'm gonna ask you right now, are his tips on the snow
No,
at
No,
the initiation?
no.
What
no.
other options does he have to start to turn?
No.
Shoulders.
Kind of, right? Right? Because his tips are off the ground.
Mm.
So that's just in terms of language and anatomy, because we're
Mhm.
always talking about leg bones rotating in the hip socket. It is a bit
Right, sure.
confusing sometimes saying that the pelvis is part of the upper body, but now you're using the word hip. So that's why I
Well,
want a clarification.
I specifically use the hip because the hip pointer is easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point in time is the pelvis lined anything other than with the skis.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're diving into something a little different. So I'm going to give you guys some hints. I did not talk about the ski performance enough. There should be some indicators I should be looking at. I just talked about one of them, which is at initiation, the tips are off the snow. That's how I visually know that the ski is bending in the back. Okay. I wish I could tell you that, oh, there's all this snow coming off the back, but frankly, in most skiing, the skis always produce snow off the back. However, I can say, because he's not in a balanced position, all the snow is coming off the back at the end of the turn because he doesn't do it at the begin in the middle part of the turn.
The
Where
tail,
was my dirt?
Wasn't much dirt,
There wasn't much dirt, was there?
but that was a level 2, right?
It was a level. No, level 2, you're required to talk about dirt too.
It's very
Yeah.
clean.
There was nothing about quickly. There was nothing about the timing. There was nothing about the rate. There was nothing about blah, blah, blah. All MA has to have dirt in it. I should be saying at the initiation, the skis turn quickly, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's part of the rotational piece.
What
I
you
did
did
not
say
really.
is he throws his hips rather, how do you say it? He throws his hips something greatly to the right, and basically you said he throws his
I
hips
did after
quickly
she
or
asked
something, but
questions
that was
about it.
only
Yeah.
the hips.
Yeah, it was only the hips. I didn't talk about anything else.
Nope.
We've
And
got
then
to talk
during
about dirt.
when you said you'd like to see a few things, you said in the shaping phase you'd like to see him use his hips more, which didn't make sense to me when you got to the rotational piece and said
Right.
he throws his hips a lot. So I got confused,
I don't blame you.
but I'm easily confused.
I intentionally left out dirt. Right? I really intentionally left out dirt.
Hmm.
You have to have dirt. You cannot stop. I mean, the examiner is not going to prompt you for, well, tell me more about the initiation. Right? You should already have talked about what's happening at the initiation. Right? Now, there isn't as much dirt for me in the fore aft realm as there is in the rotational realm, but I do need to be talking about how the rotation is happening in there, even though I'm talking about the turn as a whole. I'm just tracking the rotation.
You could
And
say though,
I really should ideally make a connection between the two. Does it make sense? Yes, no, maybe.
Mhm.
All right.
So if you added dirt in, then how would you?
So I would be talking about the rotational piece at the top, right? I would say, hey, he's turning really quickly with his upper body at the top of the turn, and then it really kind of stops turning after the skis engage at the end of the turn.
Hmm.
Bam, done. I
Okay.
don't need to say much more.
Okay.
All right. All right. You ready for your level 3?
Could you kindly run the video so we can see him skiing in motion?
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let loop it or something.
I'm going to be nice. I'll run it one more time, but you guys got to picture this in your head because if this is a candidate, this is all you get to see. Oh, and the other part was, well, we kind of talked about it at the beginning, so I'm not going to beat myself on that. But I should really, really be setting the stage too. I see a skier doing short turns in, probably blue terrain. That levels off into some green terrain. Snow looks pretty good, right? The equipment seems appropriate, setting the stage. Nice blue skies. I don't see any rain in the forecast. Blah, 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 blah. Does that help, Joanne? All right.
No,
Ready for your level
I
three?
was basically referring to, see, often I like to know the intent because then that's a
Oh,
point
no,
I kind of jumped
100%.
from. That was my point.
No, no,
That was
no. And
my
I,
only point.
these things blend together because when we're in a lesson scene and not an exam situation, when we're in a lesson scene, we're quizzing our guests every single time, right? Hey, what did you notice there? Why are you doing what you're doing? What are the struggles that you're having here? We're trying to pry out of them why they are doing what they are doing. I am not going to fault you for that, Joey, and that's really important information. It is in my lessons. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think it's kind of important that that the guest knows exactly where I'm going and why I'm going there. So, and I have to have that information. So I'm not going to fault you at all, Joe. And I think that's good information. But in the MA realm in the exam, I need to stick to the more objective part. What am I seeing? Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes total
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. That way I can know when I get through an explanation of what they're trying to do and what their intent is, I can go, oh yeah, now I know why they're doing it. Cool.
You also didn't mention a common thread.
I didn't have to. It's not required yet.
Hmm.
In a level two, if you want to talk about common threads, just you can. All right.
Well, what about 3?
Three, it's they haven't instituted that the common threads are required.
Okay.
So you don't have to necessarily talk about it, but it will set the framework in your own head. Like in this particular skier, like you could pick any of them, right? Both skis need to start to turn simultaneously. Upper body discipline promotes lower body mobility, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot of them we could pick on this one. You know, flexion and extension movements promote lateral movement. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of lacks there. All right, from a level three. So, and it is ski to ski and edging. Which you want me to do first?
Edging.
Edging, cool. I see a skier that's on a blue terrain executing short turns. Huh? Is it? Oh, it's black then. Are you sure?
Yeah, I know when this was.
Oh, okay. So it's a black terrain.
That's good.
I know. I know what it is. It hasn't changed. I watched some of that today. Anyway, I'm watching a skier on black terrain executing short turns that are progressively getting faster and faster and faster as he moves through the turn. They're shorter at the top and slightly wider in the middle, and then they get kind of longer and shorter at the end. Almost all turns are Z-shaped turns. Okay. That's setting the stage. Snow looks good, blah, blah, blah. All right. From an edging standpoint, I'm watching a skier who primarily achieves edging at the initiation through inclination. And he continues to have inclination into the shaping phase. And then at the end of the turn, I start seeing some angulation primarily from the hip and a little bit in the knee. From a ski standpoint, the skis are tipping, but they're not tipping simultaneously. One ski is tipping before the other. And then in the shaping phase, the inside ski is still tipping more than the outside ski. And then at the end of the turn, they both tip simultaneously. As they transition into the new turn, the outside ski begins to tip first before the inside ski. The movement is very, very quick at the top. The initiation, there's almost a very, very short initiation. And as I said, the inclination part is what is causing the the tipping part of it happens very fast, very short, very, very short shaping phase. And each one of these turns all have a very long finish phase.
Can I ask you a
The
quick question?
tipping, hold on,
Yeah,
let
go
me
ahead.
finish first, all right?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The the majority of the tipping of the skis is happening at the end of the turn, way after the fall line, after the skis have engaged. What am I doing the other one of? All right, cool. I'm doing foot to foot also. So from what I'm seeing from the skier is that at the initiation, as he quickly inclines, he banks into the turn, which means that the inside ski has a lot more pressure than the outside ski at the initiation. And the shaping phase, he continues to have a lot more pressure on the outside in the inside ski than the outside ski. And then at the end of the turn, finally he has enough flexion on the inside leg to allow him to have more pressure on the outside leg. All the top two part of it, the shaping, the initiation and shaping, both of those happen very, very quickly, which doesn't really allow him to utilize his legs in order to do that because both legs are relatively long at both of those phases. In the in the finish phase, the inside leg begins to shorten enough that he allows to have more pressure on the outside ski. The relationship of the ski to ski and the edging is primarily because he inclines and banks at the initiation part of the turn. He does not have sufficient pressure on the inside leg. I'm sorry, on the outside leg to really shape the top of the turn.
Mhm.
Ideally, I would like to see the skier slow down slow down the edging at the top of the turn, start to use his lower legs and his feet to begin to tip earlier in the turn, slow down that edging piece at the in the shaping phase so that he can easily move progressively into the shaping phase and increase his edge angles until the highest edge angle is slightly after apex. And then he would begin to both incline and angulate more at the end of the turn. I would like to see the skier also begin to lengthen the new outside ski and shorten the new inside ski at initiation.
Mhm.
And then I would like to see the outside leg continue to get longer at the shaping phase as the inside leg gets to its shortest or most flexed position at the apex. And then I'd like to see the new inside leg get longer as the old outside leg begins to get shorter in the finish. And it's going to be rinse and repeat on the other side. I'm done. Leonard, you had a question?
I did. I think you may have answered it. I was going to ask, why is there a divergence of the tails at the end of the turn? But you talked about him, he's finally getting to flex that inside leg and he's kind of skidding. He's getting more pressure on the outside leg. And I guess he's skidding on that outside leg. Are those two together causing that divergence of the tails?
Divergence of the tails or divergence of the tips?
I'm seeing a divergence of the tails on some of those turns at the very end. Like he's pushing away the outside ski.
What do you guys think?
I've never heard divergence in the context of tails. To
Yeah,
me,
well, I
if you
mean,
got to,
yeah, we always talk about, yeah, convergence and divergence, but it usually refers to the tips.
but
Could be
wouldn't
a
it
little
be an
bit.
I'm
indicator
seeing
that
like
the
in that turn
ski
right
is
there, it
turning
looked like
quickly?
he pushed the outside ski away, but it was like a couple of turns ago. But maybe I'm imagining it. Like
No,
they're
no, no.
just,
You're seeing
No,
it.
it's
You're
happening.
seeing it.
It's happening.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think it's a down stem, isn't it? A little bit because he's not weighting the outside leg enough.
Well, it happens.
With the tips being up in the air a lot, the weight's all on the back, so the back is where everything's happening.
Yeah, let's stick to edging and ski to ski though. All right. Wait. Let them do it. All right, come on. Tell me all the things I did wrong.
I want Mike to start talking.
No, Mike's not allowed. You're not allowed to talk. You're gonna have to tell me. Oh, Mike's okay. Mike's giving me all kinds of like emojis.
Okay, I've got a question for you.
All right, Kelby, go.
So during the edging fundamental, I heard you say during the shaping phase, the inside ski is on a higher edge angle than the outside ski.
Yeah,
How is that happening if the skier's inclined?
because the inside ski's probably engaging before the outside ski.
Okay, I'm with you.
That's not a good answer.
No, but wait, I thought that's true though. If we're inclined, the
I can't
inside
be
ski
quiet
is
anymore. You
engaged
shouldn't
first.
do that to her. You big meanie.
That's horseshit.
Push on him, Kelby. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Kelby,
Sure.
call him out on that one.
I want to make sure I'm on the same page here, Gumby. Are they trying to
Yeah.
explain the movement pattern only through
I am giving it a
ski
level 3
pressure?
MA and they're auditing me. You kind of came in a little bit late.
Okay.
There.
Catch
Yeah.
I'll
the
meet this up.
mistakes.
You're looking for all the mistakes. And there's a lot.
Yeah, guys, he's exactly like he did 15 years ago.
All right. All right, I'm going to help you out. Where does the edging come from? I mean, where does the edging come from? I said it was from inclination. Where is it actually coming from?
It's coming from him pushing the skis away from him.
Yeah. Congratulations. So I was wrong. Right?
Well, no, wait a second. But how do you push the skis away from you?
He allows the skis to move away from his center of mass. So it's a displacement. He's actually doing a combination of allowing the skis to move away and pushing them out.
Okay, but if I displace my skis, what fundamental does that apply to? I mean, well, or don't you have to, if I'm displacing my skis, don't I have to be inclining? Like there has to be a mechanism to displace.
There is an inclination, but if you actually look at it, there's a little bit of inclination plus angulation that's happening, right? Yeah. But he's allowing the skis to move away. So there is inclination. There's inclination in every turn. But I didn't really explain it the way I wanted to, the way I should have, right? Because there is angulation in the shaping phase. I didn't sit sometimes. I would say there's pretty good angles.
So
Go ahead,
even though he's angling, he has angles and he's inclining some, the skis are still getting away from him as they're displaced away from him at every turn.
Yeah, he cannot get on edge unless those skis are moved away.
Right.
Right. And ideally, what we want to do is, as the skis are underneath us, we want to start tipping them here, not push them out to here before we start tipping them, right? I mean, you could also say that he's rotating to an edge, but I'm sticking to the one fundamental.
His extensions carry before the skis change.
Yeah.
I have a clarification. Isn't the fact that he is inclining at the initiation of the turn the primary, and then the secondary is it causes the skis to displace and push away from him. His first move is an inclination move.
First movement.
So the body performance affects the ski performance.
The body performance does expect, well, it always affects the ski performance, yes. You listened to me. No, you didn't get to listen to me the whole thing, did you? That crap
I gave
fest
you a
or
clue.
yeah?
I give you. Say it.
What clue?
Gumby, you didn't talk much about, well, maybe I didn't hear it, but the initiation, we're talking about inclination, but ideally, wouldn't you like to see the tipping starting in the ankles?
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to see it happen in the ankles. As the skis are underneath us, right? I want to start seeing the tipping starting in the ankles and the lower legs. As the ski moves away from us, then that angle starts to get a little bit higher instead of this. Okay. I want to gradually start to tip, not push away to an edge before. And what's happening is not only is it not going out to away from us this way, he's doing it this way. All the edging is happening in front of him.
Scott now has something to say.
Go, Scott.
Well, Gumby, I was just gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did I hear you right? You said he shortens the inside ski and lengthens the outside ski?
Yes.
So
I almost had to pinch Dion to get her to shut up.
How do you do that?
You can't. You come along and you shorten the inside leg as you're in the middle of the turn, and you lengthen you shorten the inside ski as you lengthen the outside ski. Yeah. No,
Maybe the
you do legs, right? We move our legs. These are common little things that we say when we're doing it, right? I'm like rapidly trying to figure out how to put trash in these things. It's a lot harder than it sounds, trust me. Right? Yeah, the inside leg needs to be shorter than the outside leg. At no time does he really shorten that much, appreciably, the inside leg. Which is why he tracks. Somebody was talking about divergence, right?
That's a convergence.
I see divergence at the end of the turn. But because he has upper body rotation, he's going to have a convergence.
Well, if the tails are diverging,
yeah,
he's got a converging ski position.
Yes, exactly.
Because we usually talk about the tips, not the tails.
We talk about the tips moving in. This is converging, and diverging is when one tip starts to go in a different direction. And because he has got pressure on the inside ski, that's causing that ski to hook up before the outside ski, and he's getting a little bit of this. He's more disciplined. It's a better skier.
You told me to.
Was good. Wow. All right. Other questions? Come on. Beat me up. Mike, it's your turn.
I'm enjoying what everybody else is saying.
All right, good. Come on, call me out.
I would question your concept on one ski, depending on how you look at it, one ski edging quicker than the other ski.
Yeah, that was intentionally bad.
And
right? Well, I mean, where is the visual evidence that one ski is tipping before the other ski? If it is, it's very instantaneous.
And the other thing that you got to look at too is occasionally there's a convergence of the ski at the start, which means both skis are on edge. They're just not on corresponding edges.
They're not on corresponding edges.
And I do agree that, yeah, they push themselves. He's pushing the skis away, but he's doing that because he rotates his upper body and then he chucks his upper carcass down the hill, followed by the hips. And with both legs extending at the same time, the skis are relatively light on the slow, making it easy for him to push the skis away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you think his feet ever get underneath him?
There is a point at
On the way
As
to
he
the other side.
finishes the turn into the transition, where he very quickly actually has weight on the outside ski. However,
Yeah.
by the time he gets through the transition into the new turn, that weight is now on the inside ski.
Yeah. Groovy.
And occasionally he gets a frumpy hip rotation in there. As a result, his outside ski tends to drop back a little bit and he overpressures the tip of the ski.
You think he pressures the tip of the ski?
Once in a while,
I,
he gets an overpressure on the tip of one ski, and
all
it's
right.
usually the outside.
All right. I think it's mostly tail pushing and most of
I
it bending
agree
is
with
happening
that.
in the back. All right. All right, cool. Sometimes he sometimes accidentally does something good, but for the most for the most part, this is pretty much not ideal. All right. Who's ready for breakout rooms? Me. La 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 la. Let me get them put together. All right.
Hey, well, can I ask a question while you're doing
Yeah.
that? So just in terms of the assignment, I actually tried to
Mhm.
do it tonight where
Yeah.
I filled out that matrix thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
It would be helpful to see an example of that because 6 words in that tipping, turning, and bending movements. I mean, I tried, but I guess I didn't. It's just too many fundamentals. I didn't know. I don't know if it's supposed to just capture stuff to give you a place to start talking, but and then you're talking about dirt, so like I can't get that all into that little grid.
Yeah.
Anyhow, could be for another time, but just
The
saying.
group is it's meant to organize your thoughts. You don't necessarily have to say 4 to 5 words. You can say whatever your words you want. I think the idea that he pushes his tails indicates a lot of stuff, right? That means he's extending at the top of the turn with his legs and unweighting the outside or unweighting the tails so that he can shove them from side to side. It's literally a series of hockey stops. Yes? No? Maybe?
Mm.
Somebody argue with me. Hey, Ralph, are you level 2 or level 3?
Level 1.
Oh, you're working on your level 1?
No, I am a level 1
Oh,
considering
so you're
level.
working on your level 2? Okay,
Sort of.
cool. Sorta. Into there. And then Patty, are you level 2 or are you working on your level 3 or level 2? 2? 2? Cool. All right, I'm gonna leave you where you're at. I'm gonna get some move to here. And all right, who am I missing? Oh, Kelby. Kelby, how you doing out there? You guys getting a lot of snow?
Yeah, it's been a super good season.
Yeah. You just be happy you're not here.
Yep, rub it in, Kelby. Just rub it
Yeah,
in.
no kidding. I
I,
think Breck's grand total is 49 inches.
Breck is giving out vouchers now to advanced skiers.
Are
Well, there's
they?
nothing to ski at Breck.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
It's
right.
so bad at Breck that I was on, when was it? Was the Colorado lift the other day. And the brushes are exposed on the ramp, and between the brushes is yellow ice.
Yeah, that sounds like here. All right. I've got 3 rooms. Mike, I'm gonna let you kind of
Hey, make sure the share is on if
organize.
we're going to look at video, Chuck.
I will. Um the I've got you in with the level threes. Okay. Benji, I put you in another room. Can you help me out?
Okie doke.
And I'm gonna help out with the other room. So go to your rooms. I'll be out there. I'll be there in a minute. No, every time. I hate that. The audio always cuts me off. All right. Hey, Bench, you got this
Hello.
skier, right? All right. Who's
Yeah,
gonna
they were
skate?
talking about it. I don't.
It's
Whoever
already in
wants to,
shape.
because I finally got, or I asked a question at the very end, and there was like 30 seconds left.
Don't get roped into those questions, man.
Hmm.
All right. What are the two fundamentals that your group's going to be talking about?
Um, fore aft and rotation.
Jeez. All right, go. Which primary?
The fore aft.
Okay, go.
Okay, so noticing a skier that appears to be on a blue run who's making um, medium to long radius basic parallel turns and is initially noted to be aft on this on their skis. Uh, the ski performance is uh, a at initiation through shaping and finish. The skis tend to show a divergence, and they are initially being turned simultaneously, and but then in the shaping phase, the divergence becomes more pronounced. There's a long finish phase, uh, and it with the skis, and I see the body performance with the skier aft in an aft position with ankles somewhat open, knees overly flexed, hips flexed, and the and sorry, I'm so used to being a physician, I'm saying a patient. The person is sitting aft through all what seems to me to be all phases of the turn. Uh, in the transition, the skier will extend their body up to be able to begin initiation of the next turn, but they never seem to come out of their aft stance from my observation. What I keep going here on the fore aft.
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, what I would
Have
like
you
to see,
butchered it enough, or
what I would like to see is I would like to see, well, on the rotation as a secondary, the rotation is begun with with the upper body because of the aft position. The skier has to rotate their upper body in order to initiate the turn. That upper body rotation is maintained through all phases of the turn, and the skier ends up squared to the turn at squared at the finish phase of the turn in the transition and into the initiation of the next turn. The rotation is the skis are uh, initially simultaneously rotating, but then tend to diverge because of the upper body rotation particularly through the shaping and then finish phase. What I would like to see the skier do from a fore-aft standpoint is I would like them to be able to flex their ankles but extend their knee joint more and bring their skis, their center of mass, bring their base of support under the center of mass. So bring their feet underneath them so that their knees are over their toes, their hips are over their knees, and their shoulders over the hips, so that they're able to initiate a turn by applying pressure to the tips of the skis, which will allow them to create a more um, uh, which will allow them to create a parallel turn, a C-shaped turn that will be more equal through initiation shape and finishing phases rather than being um, uh, and more quick with the initiation shaping and showing and ending up with a long finish phase. The rotational piece would be that if their fore aft stance is correct and they're able to initiate pressure on the tips of the skis, then they'll be able to create more upper lower body separation and not engage with the upper body rotation because now their legs will be able to move independent of the upper body. Their torso will support that lower body mobility and they'll be able to turn using their legs rather than their upper body through all phases of the turn, since I thought they were using upper body rotation through all phases of the turn and ending up square that way.
Cool. How do you know he's back?
His ankles appear open to me. His knees are flexed, and he seems like he's in a seated position, almost like he's going to sit down in a chair.
Okay. So his ankles are open, his knees are what?
His knees are flexed, and he's sitting aft. He's in an aft position.
Sure, you've told me that. I'd like to know how he's aft. Is it just the ankles or is it the knees and hips and
Well, it's more the knees that are, his knees need to be less flexed to be able to bring his center of mass more forward.
But his ankles are open.
Is that right now I'm looking at this freeze frame. I mean, right now I mean, it's a distance there. I mean, they're not completely open, but they look a bit open to me, but his knees look overly flexed, which is creating that chair-like appearance.
Sure.
This was my question in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So let me ask you this. What would be the thing that would make it more appropriate? What joint, the one joint that would make him more appropriate in his stance?
Knees.
Well, if he's able to close one joint. Normally, when I see somebody aft like that, their knees are overly flexed. But I don't know. But when I look at him, I would say close the ankle joints more and
Yeah.
and extend the knee joint a little bit.
Because we've watched this guy, I mean, you've watched this guy ski and you've told me he's aft throughout all the turn.
That's what it
I'm
appeared.
thinking that if he opened his knees up, that would probably help. But I'm about 99% sure that wouldn't be enough.
Then he
Because
would
No,
I'm
have to.
looking at
Well,
I'm
he
looking
has
at this
to.
stance right here, and it looks like his legs are pointed uphill.
So he would close his ankle joints there.
Yeah, the part that's closest to the ski. That's gonna, even if he doesn't do anything with his hip and his knees, that's gonna move everything a little bit more forward.
Well, so if he closes his ankle joints, then it's going to help to bring, if he
Yeah,
pulls his ankle joints back, which
right.
will cause more.
I think he's here. I think he's here. I'd like to see him be here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Well, that's what I was saying. If he were to if he were to flex his ankle joints more,
right.
dorsiflexion, extend maybe a little bit on the knee joint, he would bring his base of support under his center of mass. He would be more forward, and then you'd have his alignment would be more with the knees over the toes, the hips over the knees, and the shoulders over the hips.
I don't like that description.
Really, Bob Barnes talked to us about that a couple of weeks ago.
Which Bob Barnes?
yeah.
Is it Encyclopedia Bob or is it?
It's Examiner Bob that was doing our clinic at Steamboat.
Oh, yeah, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong
Yeah.
Bob. All right.
Did he look like he
In that
rides dirt bikes a
position.
lot?
Yeah.
It's
Just
he's the former ski school director where you guys are at. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all love Bob here.
He's a
Bob's a
great.
great time, but he's kind of behind the times.
Okay.
Stand up for me and show me real quick. Is that Dave, right?
Yeah, it's me.
For some reason, you're not popping up on the feed for me. Stand up for me and show me what the stance should look like.
How you just described it.
How you just described it.
How I would
Oh,
want
he's got
him
the
ideally to
autofocus.
be, or what he's doing now.
Oh, he's got autofocus. Yeah, what? I mean, you've described that the knees need to be in front of what?
The knees need to be in front of the toes.
Okay. As
And then,
much as possible, because in my boots that doesn't work.
right, as much as possible.
Right.
And then his hips just slightly over his knees and his shoulders over the hips.
That's this.
Hips should be over the knees.
If you, well, forward.
Hips, but hips have to be more like over the heels or maybe the
Or
ball of the
heels.
foot.
Okay.
Or the arch.
I like it over the center of the foot.
So over the arch.
Yeah, over the archish.
Okay, over the arch.
Just in front of the heel. Yes.
Okay.
And then the
Over the
shin
arch.
angle should match approximately the back angle. Yes?
Yeah, so that the shins, the posterior side, the shins should be parallel to the back.
Yes. And this guy's got a slight, I mean, he's got a slight ankles on him, but I don't think it's appropriate for the terrain that he's on. And I think this is probably like Vale going down to, I can't remember what it is, which means it's probably a black. And I need him to be much, much more forward at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's watch our
Gumby.
skier here.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
it's okay to speak like a physician because in the end, you will give him a prescription to hopefully change the status quo.
Okay.
So here at the end of the turn, that's not aft anymore.
Yeah. If you pause
He's-
around like 16 seconds or 19 seconds, it has a much better bike profile.
Yeah, and it's all happening at the end of the turn, isn't it?
Well, he looks like he's aft there to me.
He's making up for it though by bending more at the hips. He's
But that's-
definitely
but-
bent at the knees quite a bit. He's flexed
Yeah,
to
he's
the
bent
knees, so
it-
he's making it up with bending more at the hips, getting him forward that way.
Yeah, but with his, as to me, also because of his position there, which to me is slightly, yeah, it's slightly more aft. It's not exactly, he's rotating with his upper body.
Yeah,
because
no,
of his
I agree with
position.
you. He's rotating with his upper body.
He-
What I'm showing is that in the other description, that at the end of the turn, he's pretty well balanced.
In an
He could be too
unorthodox
far
way.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to get forward by overflexing the hip joint.
Yeah.
And not just the hip joint.
No, it's the
Well,
ankle.
it's not just a hip joint.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of ankles there too.
But
I
his
mean-
theoretically, Chuck, is as you said earlier, the shin and his spine should have the same angles, and they don't.
They should have the same angles. And I
Which is
see,
telling us there's still an issue with the knee joint.
I mean, his butt is not appreciably behind the heels. I just drew a
No.
line, right? It's not there.
Yeah,
So
I'd
it's-
agree with that. He's more centered here, even
Yeah.
though the angles are off.
Right. Okay. All right. So, and I'm going to agree with you. I got a couple of things I want to pick on the rotational side, Dave. If you'll
Yeah,
bear with me,
man,
all right?
I'm just trying to
No.
progress with this. Yeah.
I feel like if I sound like I'm heated, I'm not. Okay. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
Yeah.
Remember, you're supposed to be safe, but when we use upper body rotation, do we use it to start the rotation or do we use it throughout the turn?
We use it to
Because
start the rotation.
Okay, because you described it as I see upper body rotation happening throughout the turn.
Oh,
And if
okay.
he does that,
He's
he's
going
going
to
to be
end up
spinning
back
around.
uphill.
He's going to be spinning around backwards, right?
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to be over here somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So the rotational spark, and I can't emphasize it enough. Goes back to Isaac Newton, right? The third law of conservation of energy. We use rotation to start the rotation until it's acted upon to stop the rotation. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why we only see this happen at the top of the turn, not right like this, right? Well, sometimes
Right.
we do
Yeah. Okay.
that. Yeah,
Right. I think
Spin
what
around, go
I'm
backwards down it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm crossing that
So
over into there's never any separation between upper and lower body there.
yeah, yeah. No, I liked how you started to make those connections. Okay, about how you would like to. I mean, what I'd like to say was if you're going to go to that description of how I would like to see more upper and lower body separation. I would like to know, and you did say he was square at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Man, he's pretty square at the end of the turn, right? Which is probably why he's facilitating upper body rotation to start the next turn,
Yeah.
right? And we're seeing that, right? Oh, I got to do it here. There we go. Now get out of the way. Right there it is. Bam. Ah, he's never really not ever square, is he?
Mm-mm.
Briefly, he's turned to the
Briefly, just ever so briefly, like right there, and then it's gone. Okay.
but it's not counted in the correct direction.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
would have liked to heard more about the extension at the top of the turn, how he extends the
Well,
knees and the hips at the
and
top of the
that's to
turn.
be able to initiate the turn because he doesn't have,
Right.
from a rotational standpoint, he's not creating upper body
Yeah, and he
separation.
makes them aft and back, right? Because
Yeah.
I agree, but it's at the same time when he extends at the top of the turn before he starts twisting,
Yeah.
right? Um, the tips
Almost
never really
simultaneous.
engaged because he goes up and not forward.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
when he goes up too, it allows
Yeah.
him to flatten out the skis so he can
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's using the up motion to help him like flatten the skis so he can
Flatten
start
the
the
skis.
next turn. So he
Yeah.
flattens the skis with an up movement that goes up instead of
Up,
this way.
flat, then down.
And then it flattens the skis, and then he can use a twist to get them to go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. There's actually a kind of a valiant attempt at a level 3 MA, but you're missing some pieces. So I would
I'm
focus
just
on
trying
one
for
of the
level 2.
Yeah, I know. I know. But you started out and you kind of did the level 2 MA of the fore aft. And then somewhere it just kind of dropped and you went straight to the rotation and you spent 2/3 of the description on the rotational piece.
So are we supposed to go through and ski the fore aft first?
Uh-huh. If it's the
Then
primary,
yeah.
it gets the full description.
So we go to the real and then the ideal of the
The
fore aft,
real, the
and
ideal,
then to the rotation, the real and
right.
the ideal.
Yeah.
And then do we go, and then, but do we do the prescription for real ideal
No,
prescription?
I would do the tracking the next
Fore aft would
because
be
the prescription
secondary,
for change
Chuck.
is
Fore aft would
tied
always
to
be
both of them.
secondary.
Huh?
Fore
You have
aft
a
would always
primary,
be
which you're going to do the
secondary.
full MA on. Then you have a secondary, which you're just tracking it. And you're showing, hey, because they're doing this, these things are happening here. We're not doing the full, well, at the top of the turn is see upper body rotation, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. That's not
Oh,
required. But you're trying, then the prescription for change comes in that shows the relationship between them.
Okay.
I would do it anyway. Extra points.
Okay.
No, we don't have to show the relationship. We just have to
You
try
do
the
not have to
page.
show the relationship. No.
What?
You don't have to show the relationship.
Right. So I have a question. When David and
Yes.
I were looking at this, we both felt like this skier was really aft the whole time. But I agree. I saw the, his extension movement,
Right.
that's kind of the up unweighting extension movement.
Yep.
But then you're saying now in the finishing phase, he's really not very aft. So is that right?
Yeah,
So
he's aft. Is he probably a little overflexed?
Yeah.
Yes. But
but
he's forward. He's trying to save the turn.
I thought that as we went around the turn, the finishing phase is going to be our aftest spot, and then we extend in initiation and we get more forward. So
Right.
then we're forward through shaping, and then as we finish shaping, we become after again. I mean, we're allowed to be a little more aft. We should be a little more aft so that we're, flexing and extending. So I'm confused how if he's aft at the beginning, how he's not as aft at finishing.
Yeah.
What part of the ski is hooking up at the end of the turn? You're looking for like evidence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the
He
finishing,
never,
in the long finishing is actually where he's using the front of his ski.
He's using the front of the ski at the end of the turn. What's that do to the tails?
It
could
makes the tails
pivot them
lighter.
out.
They wash out.
They wash
It's
out.
not
Okay, yeah.
like right there,
Uh-huh.
right? Because he's moved the pivot point forward.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Laura?
It does.
Yeah.
But
So the order of operations is kind of a little bit different for him. He's aft at the top where he needs to be a little bit more aft at the bottom. And I'd say aft, I mean this much, right?
right.
Right. But you're trying to get the tails to engage at the end of each turn. Again,
Right.
this much, right?
But I mean, if we're not aft a little, we don't really have anything to extend out of, right?
Yeah.
Initiation.
Hey, guys,
Whoop.
the purpose of the extension as my skis start to go down the hill is not to try and somehow bend the tip more. It's to stay with my skis as they drop away from me.
This is me shaking my head. Yes.
So
Yes, right.
as the skis start to come back across the fall line, they're no longer falling away from me. So I can relax my extension so that I don't stay too far forward. I'm not actually pressuring the tails.
Okay.
If I'm in the middle-ish of my ski, as my ski is across the hill, my ski bends in an even arc, tip to tail. If the ground starts to drop away from the tips of my skis, I have to move forward to keep up with them so that my ski stays bent in an arc, tip to tail. As it comes back across the fall line, I can relax my extension. I'm not trying to juice my tails and shoot across the hill, because as soon as I actually move aft, the front half of my ski, the arc that it should be making, will flatten. And the ski will then go straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that helped a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. There is a grip component though. So don't forget that part. But it's
Okay.
not as important as what she was just saying. Right?
I'm only juicing the tails in a high energy slalom turn if I can hang on to that shit, because it's going to shoot me across the hill faster than I was going down the hill. And that may not actually be what I want to do. And I definitely don't want to do that when it gets really steep.
All right, we got time for one more. Bingo. Mike, this is your group. Who's going to sprechen Sie?
We.
Is there anybody left? Oh, Kelby, go.
Wait, I have a fundamental question.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at the transition, finish, extension, whatever you want to call it, phase, if I am centered over my skis and then move along the back to the tail, how am I moving along the length of the ski if I never get forward
You
at
have to
the
get
initiation?
So that's why we call it flexion and extension movements. We actually have candidates here who don't move very well forward and aft. You have to move this way throughout the turn. You're never stable. You're never sitting in one spot. Because as soon as the tips start going down the hill and you're sitting in the same spot, the tips are going to go away from you. Now you're aft. So you have to go first. Yes. It's the same way as we're doing jumps, right? We got to land going downhill. We have to pop forward to get going like this. As we move down the hill, we have to move our bodies forward too. Otherwise, the tips just leave us.
It's a timing and rate piece. If I start moving forward too soon, before I have created grip, I then create other problems. But it's a rate piece. If I extend so quickly and in the wrong spot, my extension will go up instead of forward along the length of my ski. So there's a timing and a rate piece to the extension. You do get forward, but it's forward with your platform more than, especially in like the skier we were just watching, those were not super high energy turns.
Well, he made it look like that.
In a basic parallel, I don't necessarily want to get in front of my skis.
Okay,
You
thank
don't
you.
need that much movement in a basic parallel, right?
Mhm.
And that was one of the, well, I'm not going to say anything. All
Well,
right.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Who's going to,
one thing you talked about though was getting back on tails a little bit at that end of the shaping to get that when you're doing a dynamic turn, that's when you get that pop. But yeah, if you don't
yeah,
move quickly toward the front, toward the length of the ski, you'll basically
yeah,
not be able to make the turn. You'll get blown out of the turn.
exactly. I mean, if Michaela Schifrin, because she loads those tails and, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, she loads those tails like crazy, but that's where the acceleration comes from. It looks like smooth. When you see her start skiing smooth and making those turns, she's loading those tails and using those tails to spring her forward. But she's moving forward to anticipate that to happen, right?
You know, I think if you think about your movements in 3 dimensions, it might make a little more sense. In other words, at the end of the turn, the skis are going one direction, that is across the hill. If your body is also moving across the hill, you're either standing on the skis or if you're engaging the tails a little bit, you're back on the tails of the ski a little.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think of that movement at the initiation in 3D, where the skis continue across the hill, but your body is starting to move in a different vector, the skis are still accelerating, but your body's now moving in a different vector. That's going to give you some grip on the tails of the ski, but the ski will now have to jet a little bit to catch up with your body, which is already moving down the hill.
Who's talking about this horrible skier here? Come on,
We
don't be
had a
afraid.
great discussion of all kinds of stuff, so I'll let them go on it.
Scotty?
All right, if you want me to talk, I'll talk.
All right, talk.
So I'm looking at skier making medium radius parallel turns on a groomed intermediate run. Um, the the ski performance that I'm seeing is the skis are tipping simultaneously at initiation, and they continue to tip through the shaping progressively into the finish. Um, the one thing I do notice in the ski performance is there is some wobble in the tips, uh, and that usually occurs late in shaping through finish. And I believe the body performance that causes that is the skier slightly aft. And the reason they're
That was
slightly
a vicious lane change. Okay, keep going.
all right, slightly aft. The reason
All right, so we got edging and we got fore aft, right? Let's not add in anymore, all right? Okay.
so the cause of the wobble in the skis in the slightly aft position is the skier is slightly upright from the hips to the shoulders, uh, which is basically not flexed enough at the hips and for the upper body. The ankles and knees are flexed fairly proportionally. What else?
You might want to go back to edging.
Oh, so back to edging. So the at initiation, well, we talked about the skis tipping
Body
proportionally.
performance. We want to go to the body performance.
Right. So okay, body performance on edging at initiation, there's a slight extension of the outside leg, slightly, and the inside leg remains fairly static. And through shaping, the outside leg extends slightly more, and the inside leg starts to flex. And then through the finish, the inside leg starts to flex more, and the outside leg starts to extend.
Cool. What fundamental is that?
Ski to ski.
So now we've got three of them. Would you like to add some more?
I should probably, with edging, I should probably talk about inclination and angle.
I think you probably should.
Okay.
Yes. Let's stick to those two.
All right. So
Why stop there?
well, I'll give you a little bit of everything.
I thought
We're
the
making a salad, okay?
Yeah.
I thought the ski to ski was good. Good. Now maybe somebody else wants to do that.
I didn't mind the ski to ski, but we started out with edging, so we're kind of stuck with edging.
All right. So okay, so let me go back to edging. At initiation, the skis begin to when we are talking about ski performance, I have to talk about body performance that's not flexing and extending. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Ideally, yes.
Right. So all right. So at initiation, at initiation, the skier begins to move across the skis so that well, but see, that's the flex and extend. That's what causes you to move across the ski, flexing the inside leg and extending the outside leg.
So are we saying he's starting his turn with inclination?
Yes.
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 There we go.
Yes.
Just
He
saying,
chucks his carcass down the hill.
well, I would
Very
say
with
I
style
wouldn't
and
say
grace.
carcass, but
Right. Right.
With
It's a basic
style
parallel.
and grace, Chuck.
Yeah. So at initiation, there's a slight inclination to tip the skis onto edge. Then into shaping, the inclination continues, but angles are started to be built through the lower legs, creating a slight amount of angulation in order to continue to tip the skis to a higher edge angle late in shaping, and then the inclination and the angulation are reduced through the finish as he prepares for the next turn.
Ideally.
I don't think you're too far from ideal.
Okay. Was there anything quick or?
No, the only thing that I really noticed that I consider less than ideal is the slight aft position.
Okay.
Which required slightly more flex at the hips.
Okay.
How would that affect his edging?
Great question. How would that slightly greater flex? Well, it puts him in a more centered position so that his muscles aren't working to hold him upright. He's using his skeleton, which makes it easier with that additional flex. It makes it easier to tip and also create angles and put him in a more balanced position. I know I didn't say that right, but that's what I came up with.
Yeah, I would have dropped the balanced position because which your already assumption is that in being in a more balanced position is going to allow me to use my angles better in the turn. Couple of things. The fore aft, I think, is correct. There is that's a tendency of mine, that's a tendency of Ryder and half the fucking staff, right? Is to be more upright in the torso. There is a very quick edge change at each top. It's not as gradual as we like to have.
Okay.
And I think that is a result of the fore aft piece.
I saw that. I'm so happy. Sorry.
It's very progressive from the time after the initiation, that quick movement through the turn, kind of the untipping and the tipping part. But definitely at the initiation, there is a very, very quick move from one side to the other. And sometimes there's a step, sometimes there's a divergence, sometimes there's a convergence.
But not very much.
Not like
Chuck,
it used to be. Yeah.
Within our group,
Uh-huh.
Because we define them as basic parallel turns, and actually you did too.
Yep.
We also did go into the common threads, and we liked the fact that both skis stayed on the snow.
Yep.
That being said, the ankles were working independently of each other, so forward angles were not maintained.
The legs were working independently.
Even though they were.
That's not what he said. He said the ankles were working independently, so you did not have matching shin angles.
So mean. All right, Kelby, you have a question?
Yeah, what's wrong with being more upright in the torso if it matches the angle of the terrain?
It doesn't match the angle of the terrain here.
Yeah.
So pause yourself and draw your little line.
All right, hold on. Let me find myself, especially at the top up here, right?
It's not matching terrain.
It's not matching the shin angle either.
Nope.
Right. So, and this is like I said, this is something that happens quite often in our skiing where this part does not match this part. Okay. And when we go down further into it gets better when we're down in the steep part. but it's still not ideal, right?
It goes back to your question, Kilby, about aren't I supposed to get forward or I never have anywhere to come back from?
I'm still a little bit, I mean, it's better.
It's better right there. And
It's
then it
better
opens
because
up
I
this
have
switch.
to move forward on this slope
Or you'll die.
more because it's way steeper than the upper part. I mean, there was a rollover, right? And that's why we chose this one because we want to see what we looked like on flatter terrain before we rolled over into steeper terrain. I move better here, but they still don't match. I need to have more flex in my hips.
So he's not keeping up with his skis.
Yeah.
Which means the ski is not bending evenly tip to tail, which means the front half of the ski is not in the same arc as the ski from his foot back, which affects how that's going to create grip and how that's going to steer into the radius of his turn.
It's also going to affect how he starts his turn and how he loses his counter after transition. And it goes to a reverse counter.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to mention how he dumps his hip one direction, but
I didn't go there.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking good.
So I think
You guys have gone a little crazy with the comment.
no, I think actually the piece that I noticed with the openness in the upper body, there is slightly more inclination than is perhaps ideal. And it is not equally balanced with the amount of angulation that he creates. And I think that is why you sometimes see the stance open. It's because the outside foot actually does skitter away. The snow here is really firm. It's not super grippy. So it shows things that you probably wouldn't see if we had better snow.
Actually, this is corduroy.
Yeah, but it's still firm.
It was firm corduroy.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying, Dion. It also leads to that convergence at the start of many of the turns by dropping that inside arm and shoulder and basically inclining to get things started.
And it's because we end up, if we're aft, even very, very slightly, it is harder to start the turn using our lower legs. And we
Agreed.
don't have the forces in a basic parallel where we can use an inclination move while the skis are really, really light and in the air and then come onto an edge angle and catch up to us. There just isn't enough force to pull that movement pattern off.
Right.
So can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
So Dion brought up inclination. I thought we always had to start our turns with a little inclination, and then angles don't really build much until shaping. I feel like somebody has said that. And then the angles really build at shaping, but that just because you have to start with little inclination doesn't mean we can't still be too inclined at initiation.
It also depends on how you develop that inclination. Are the legs moving the center of mass, or is the center of mass moving the legs?
Okay.
So, it's not just situational. I don't want to move in. I want the skis to push me in. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to huck my carcass, as Mike keeps calling it, into the middle of the turn.
Well, to that point, then you almost need angulation for your skis can get you in that position. Is that a right way to think about that?
Yes. We should be still creating angulation at the top of the turn, even in basic parallels. It's just there's just not much performance there, so you're not seeing very much. Right? Yeah, just a teeny bit. So yeah, you should be still working the inside of the boot. That I call that my superpower.
But yes, Laura, there is definitely more angulation created at the end of the turn.
Okay.
You have
and
to
through
resist
the
those
finish.
forces.
But that doesn't mean there isn't any at the top of the turn.
Okay.
It's combination of.
Mm-hmm. And remember that Chuck is a force to be reckoned with, so there is more force occurring here than what is obvious.
Exactly. I will, is what he's trying to say. He's calling me fat.
No,
I didn't say that.
It's
I
this
think we, but I think we
ego
heard
that
that.
fall down the hill.
I heard it. I heard it, Gumby, and I'm sorry that he said it.
No,
Okay.
I didn't say that.
It's very late and we have to go to bed.
Yeah.
Gumby, she beat me across the flats. It didn't happen that way today.
That's because she had to tuck down like a mouse in order to do it.
Hey, I still beat you.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. I hope you got something out of this tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Let's-
Chuck. Yeah.
Let's continue to do this next week
Yeah.
and
Okay.
throughout the rest of the year.
Oh.
It's going to be very, very. I felt like I was sounding a little mean today, but I really am. I really, really want to make sure that you guys are ready. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
going to be
do.
ready. It's not your fault. Okay. Good
Yeah.
night.
You're pretty
Good night,
dang
all.
close, Laura.
Thanks for
I'm gonna
letting
be
me
honest.
join
Oh,
you.
okay. Thank you. Bye bye.